outstanding start. Very, very tricky to do in these Super League Formula cars. 5-lap dash for cash. The lights are on. We're waiting for them to change. It's a long, long hold and away now. Verbeek on the right-hand side. John Martin gets a good start too, as does Van der Drift in New Zealand. Makes a couple of places up. Neil Jarni in third. Van der Drift locks up. Jarni moves into third. Verbeek is leading with John Martin right behind. And Neil Jarni, if he is on new tyres, is making great use of them. Max Wissel, South Korea, drops back into fourth place. Neil Jarni is up into third. We're on board with him now. He's closing down on John Martin into that fast right-handed turn before they make the run down the straight. Is he going to make a move? He gets a run on him as he comes down through here. John Martin's on the inside for the chicane. Is he going to be able to outbrake Jarni? Will Jarni, with the better rubber, manage to stick one past the Australian through the chicane nice and tidy? Jarni again gets a good run, Earl.
Yeah, that's just the new tyres. He's got fantastic tyre grip right now. He's trying to make the most of it. Will he dive up the inside of the chicane? No, he won't. Oh, huge lock up there.
Max Wissel, I think, locking wheels in the Korean car. Coming up then behind it, looks like Van der Drift is in fourth place for New Zealand. He is. So on board now with Max Wissel, South Korea. Locked his wheels into the chicane. Up ahead of us we can see Neil Jarni. He knows he's got good tyres, but he's only got 5 laps to make the most of it. He has to make a move quickly. Aleshin is still at the back. Just in front of him is Boerman for the Netherlands and Dormus for Japan. So now Verbeek making great work, making a big gap for himself. If Jarni can get past, can he close up?
Yeah, I think he could. He's got some good tyres, but he's really struggling to get past. Can he make it into the first corner? Luxembourg's on the push to pass. So is New Zealand. But as Jarni, he can't do anything about it. He's got much better grip right now. Look at it. He's all over the back of the Australian car, but just can't do anything about it with a few raindrops on the lens. And New Zealand looking up the inside of the South Korean car.
Very, very dark clouds gathering over one end of the circuit. There's only 3 laps to go, or 4 laps including this one. So if we see rain, it's going to be carnage. But Neil Jarni, slight gap now between him and John Martin for Australia. 2/10 of a second, nearly 3/10 of a second. Jarni again closes up on the brakes. Can he be tidy through the chicane? He'd have to be brave if he wants to make a move into the next area. You'd have to say that Frederik Verbeek has made a fantastic start here. He's got a decent gap back to John Martin. Jarni, really, you can see, has a great car underneath him.
Yeah, he's got a fantastic car underneath him, but just can't find a way past the Australian. You know, look, he's all over the back of him. But this next lap, it's going to be 90 seconds up. They're going to be on the push to pass again. So this is where the action's going to happen. You don't mind. You don't want to finish second. You don't want to finish third. You want to win. You want to win the 100,000 euros in this situation. Are they going to go on the push to pass? No, not yet.
Jarni then right behind John Martin, coming up towards the chicane, which leads to the start-finish line on the rev limiter. And through in the Belgium RSC Anderlecht car. He'd love to take the win here in front of the Belgian crowd. John Martin comes over the start-finish line. Verbeek is ahead of him. Frederik Verbeek still leads the super final, and by a decent margin. 1.9 seconds is Verbeek's lead for Luxembourg.
Yeah, and this is the point in time where they might be getting on the push to pass. Let's see what's going to happen. They're not on it yet.
Dormus is using his in the Japanese machine. He currently lies in 6th place. Dormus on push to pass.
Yeah, he's right behind New Zealand at the moment as Belgium stays nice and close to the Australian car, and this is a great race by, and he's come alongside him. He's come alongside Australia. What's going to happen through the chicane? He can't do anything about it around the outside.
He's going to get a good exit though. Can he get? No, he can't. John Martin manages to get the power down as well.
Yeah, and is he going to dive it up the inside of the chicane? You might see him do it, but he blocks all over the back of Australia. Still so close, but he can't do anything about it. He's not on push to pass.
He was just the push to pass had just gone out for John Martin as he came out of that chicane there. The graphic went from red to black, both with 6 left. So Jarni really is piling it on. Fastest lap of the race so far, that goes to Frederik Verbeek in the Luxembourg machine, 1 minute 20.4. He is out in front. There we are with our timing partners IWI Watches. Neil Jarni in the purple machine is the man we are watching. Mikael Aleshin doesn't look to be able to do anything at the back of the grid. Is Jarni now coming under pressure as well from Max Wissel in the Korean machine?
Yeah,
South Korea.
Brilliant racing. Max Wissel doing a fantastic job. Now starting to apply the pressure. But John Martin still holding on strong to that 2nd place as well.
So just 2 laps to go. John Martin is doing a fantastic job of defending Neil Jarni, who is clearly on a fantastic brand new set of tyres. You can see what a difference it makes. It's much easier for him. The rain does seem to be falling at that end of the circuit. We can see the rain from the commentary position now. This could change everything.
The rain is really coming down now hard, really, really hard. So this is going to be incredibly slippery for the drivers. The rain's been drawn in by the wind very quickly, and watch for the drivers start to slip around the circuit. This is not easy conditions. It's pelting it down now. It's got to turn slippery for these last 2 laps of the super final. What more entertainment do we want?
So, slick tyres in the rain, incredibly difficult to drive. We saw yesterday the final of qualifying was held in light drizzle. This is now heavy rain across the start-finish line. Where our commentary position is, we can see it's coming in sideways with the wind. They're really going to struggle with grip. This is where we saw yesterday Van der Drift for New Zealand ran wide in the wet. Not quite so much rain this end of the circuit.
And Luxembourg starting to slow down. The 2 guys took a second out of Luxembourg in the middle sector. They're really catching Luxembourg. He's trying to judge the grip and he doesn't know how much is out there as he goes into the last lap. They're really catching him now. This is going to be absolute entertainment.
So very tight. Verbeesch losing confidence in the car in the rain. John Martin and Neil Jarni, the following cars for Australia and Belgium, still pushing on. They know one mistake now. They're in a position to watch. This is what happened yesterday. Dolby was behind Van der Drift. He watched Van der Drift ran wide. He squirmed around on the brakes. He couldn't get away. You can see they're feathering the throttle now. Well, really tricky driving conditions.
Yeah, amazingly tricky. Look at no grip whatsoever, and the rain's getting more and more, and they're really catching Verbeesch right now at the front. Can Australia do anything about it?
Verbeesch is on the white line. He's run wide, goes across the chicane. So does Jarni. Jarni outbrakes himself. John Martin now is all over the back of Verbeesch. He has a run on him down. It's going to be very wet. Is he going to dare to try and outbrake him? Verbeesch goes on the defensive line. John Martin is tucked up right underneath him. Last lap of the super final. Jarni closes back up again, having outbraked himself at the chicane. They're nearly there.
And Luxembourg's on push to pass, trying to pull away. Has he got to miss his braking point? He's got to nail it. He's blocking to the inside. Australia's nice and wide. They're going to try and cross each other over. What's going to happen coming out? And Belgium's in there as well. Belgium's looking to pass Australia, coming into the last chicane.
One more run now down. Neil Jarni is on the outside. Luxembourg is braking up the inside. John Martin, Jarni as well. Luxembourg looks to have just about judged the braking right. He's on the gas. He comes down over the start-finish line. He's Frederick Verbeesch wins for Luxembourg. He pumps his 5th in the air. He's stoked to have done it in the wet. John Martin holds on to 2nd place. Neil Jarni 3rd for Belgium. Absolutely incredible action. Couldn't have been a closer finish, Earl, could it?
No, couldn't have been. 1 second between the top 4 cars. Absolutely brilliant stuff.
Fantastic drive. Frederick Verbeesch had a 2-second lead. The rain came. He lost his confidence.
It was better that you didn't say anything about the rain. You made me slow down too much.
So he says it's better if you hadn't have said about the rain. You made me slow down. So his team said it's raining, but then he says thank you very much, and rightly so as well. Changes his mind, quickly tells them off, and then decides, in fact, no, I'm happy. We've won 100,000 euros. Absolutely great drive from Verbeesch.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you very much. He says John Martin holds on to 2nd place. He defended hard against Neil Jarni. Then we had all the drama at this chicane, Earl.
Yeah, there was an amazing amount of drama. Verbeesch dropped a wheel and just managed to hold on to it. John Martin made it through, but so did Belgium go off. So brilliant excitement. Really everyone pushing to the limit, and one little mistake could have thrown it all away.
Our fastest lap was from Verbeesch for Luxembourg. On lap 3, he did a 1:20.1. I can't believe it, he says. He's really pleased. You could see when he crossed the finish line, his immediate reaction was to pump his fist in the air. An incredibly close race. That's a serious rush, isn't it, El, for a driver?
That was a serious rush. And let's look at the results here.
So Luxembourg, Frederick Verbeesch takes the super final by just 0.2 of a second from Australia's John Martin. Neil Jarni only a further half-second back for Belgium RSC Anderlecht. Max Wissel in 4th place for South Korea within a second. 4 cars. Only 1.1 second back to the 5th place. Chris Van der Drift for New Zealand. Robert Dornbus for Japan. Then Netherlands PSV, Jelmer Burman was in 7th, and Mikel Aleshin unable to make an impression in that last race. The conditions changed, and maybe he didn't have quite as much experience as the other drivers in their cars. An incredible way to round out the 2nd Grand Prix weekend for Superleague Formula Nations Cup 2011. What a result for Verbeesch to win.